This doesn't seem very Christian to get $2,000 per day to tell workers not to organize, but what do I know?
I'll pray for him.
There you go.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Boss Watch is a segment that we do every week where we take a look at what employers were up to in the southern United States and across the country. We have historically been doing this segment by pulling press releases from the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, the Mine Safety and Health Administration, the Department of Labor, and the Wage and Hour Division of the Department of Labor to see how the federal government is protecting workers from their employers. But there continues to be, as there has not been since the Trump administration took office, there continues to be no new enforcement actions or announcements of resolution of ongoing enforcement actions, a significant reduction from the last several years. But we do have a sort of policy memo out from the EEOC that is interesting, as well as a news story. We'll start in Texas, where the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW, is alleging that the Corpus Christi School District in Texas has been stealing wages from its members by not following Davis-Bacon bidding rules. Channel 3 News in Corpus Christi reports that Marshall Morin has worked in the electrical field for more than 10 years, but said he has never gotten the opportunity to work on a Corpus Christi School District project because of the Davis-Bacon wage violations. It's not right, he said, quote, "I mean, it's directly affecting our community. We're all products of CCISD. We are all basically being undercut because our wages can't be paid, or they're not required to be paid at that rate. So our contractors, therefore, cannot bid that work with our composite rate." The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers has 800 members in South Texas, with nearly 400 in Corpus Christi who claimed they've faced unfair pay over the past 20 years, working on CCISD projects such as Carroll High School and the new middle school off Yorktown. The change in 2023, when David Karanko became the first to take the CCISD to court, that changed in 2023 when David Karanko became the first to take CCISD to court, claiming it was not following Davis-Bacon prevailing wages. That's the standard set for minimum wages in the profession. Quote, but this has been going on for the last 2 decades, which is CCISD has been failing to abide by the law and adopting third-party wage packages, which the 13th Court of Appeals has just recently, as of December of last year, determined is unlawful. David Karanko said CCISD has asked his union to draft a proposed settlement by the next school board meeting, which is on Monday, March 24th. The EEOC release that I was talking about came from EEOC acting chair Andrea Lucas, who announced that, quote, the EEOC is putting employers and other covered entities on notice. If you are part of a pipeline contributing to our immigration crisis or abusing our legal immigration system via illegal preferences against American workers, you must stop. The law applies to you and you are not above the law. The EEOC is here to protect all workers from unlawful national origin discrimination, including American workers. Now, interestingly, this is me coming out of the press release to add some commentary. This could foretell an interesting shift in emphasis regarding immigration enforcement. You know, typically immigration enforcement, including under Trump 1, is simply used as a cudgel against undocumented immigrants themselves. We talked about how in Mississippi there was a sexual harassment lawsuit that was won by a union which represented workers at a poultry plant. They won $2.5 million from the employer, and only months after that, ICE came and raided the facility, deporting hundreds of workers, obviously in retaliation for their exposing the sexual harassment of the managers. Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate. Now, if they take it in a different way by using the EEOC to go after employers instead of undocumented immigrants, that that's interesting, but this press release was pointed towards employers, not undocumented immigrants. So it continues, quote, unlawful bias against American workers in violation of Title VII is a large-scale problem in multiple industries nationwide, Lucas said. Many employers have policies and practices preferring illegal aliens, that's his word, migrant workers, and visa holders or other legal immigrants over American workers in direct violation of federal employment law prohibiting national origin discrimination. Cracking down on this type of unlawful discrimination will shift employer incentives, decreasing demand for illegal alien workers, again his word, and decreasing abuse of the United States legal immigration system. Employers have many excuses for why they may prefer non-American workers, but none of those are legally permissible reasons to violate Title VII. None of the following are legally permissible reasons to violate Title VII. Lower cost labor, whether due to payment under the table to illegal aliens or exploiting rules around certain visa holder wage requirements. A workforce that is perceived as more easily exploited in terms of the group's lack of knowledge, access, or use of wage and hour protections, anti-discrimination protections, and other legal protections, customer or client preference, and biased perceptions that foreign workers are more productive or have a better work ethic than American workers. Another quote from Lucas, the law is clear. The prohibition on national origin discrimination applies to any national group, including discrimination against American workers in favor of foreign workers. The EEOC is going to rigorously enforce the law to protect American workers from national origin discrimination. So, interesting. We'll see what happens there. And we'll wrap up with Union Busters, a segment of Boss Watch, sponsored by Labor Lab. Labor Lab is an employer watchdog organization committed to safeguarding the right to organize through unions, collective bargaining, and mutual aid. They do this by combing through reports that Union Busters are required to file with the Department of Labor. Last week, LabCorp in Portland hired East Coast Labor Relations, doing business as Reliant Labor Consultants, for $3,500 per day. East Coast Labor Relations provides union avoidance services to employers. They advertise that their consultants are, quote, former high-ranking union officials and that they are bilingual. The language on Reliant Labor Consulting's website is identical. Their services include avoiding, preventing, and fighting a union. This is the firm, you'll remember, that Joe Brock is president of. You'll remember from Boss Watch a couple of weeks ago that he was president of the Teamsters Local 830 in Philadelphia before he lost an election and took his ball to the other side of the fence and started fighting for the bad guys. But fortunately, his fancy pants consulting BS didn't pay off this time because workers there won their union 79-23. Also, he's going to be on the show next weekend, so really excited for that. Masonite hired LRI Consulting Services for $425 an hour, and Bob Evans Farms hired LRI Consulting Services for $425 per hour. There is an active union election there. The following LM20s were amended. Heightened Solutions amended their LM20 for Northwestern Medical Center to add their compensation rate of $300 an hour. Workers won their union there by 150 to 45. Alley's Transportation amended their LM20 for Amazon DAX5 in North Carolina to add their compensation rate of $2,000 per day. The owner of Alley's Transportation is Algeron Wright, who is a self-described HR professional in Swansea, South Carolina, who also is a gospel and inspirational recording artist. His band is called Algeron Wright and Triumphant Praise on Spotify. It doesn't seem very Christian to get $2,000 per day to tell workers not to organize, but what do I know?
I'll pray for him.
There you go.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.